What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Kreative podcast. You got your co-host Bobby. Got my co-host to the right, Adrian, and at the bottom we got Jeff. What's up, fellas? How y'all doing?
All right, we in here.
We in here, Jeff. You
Yeah,
good?
man. Yeah.
It's Utah USC Trojans going on right now.
Ooh, okay. College football. We got 4 topics for you guys today. We're gonna talk about the Jerry Jones photo. We got top QB rankings. Deion Sanders of Colorado, and this new expansion, college football expansion. So what does that mean? And does that bring more excitement, or does that piss a couple people off? But as always, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment. Appreciate the support. We are up to 946 fellas right now.
Yeah.
Subscribers.
Yeah.
So now
We almost at 1,000.
almost at 1,000. So we appreciate the support. But let's get right into it, man. Jerry Jones photo.
You got the photo? Put up the photo.
I'm pulling it right now. Mr. Jones, right there. All right, then. You want me to zoom in a little bit?
Yeah, you can if you want to.
Okay. So take it away, Jeff, because I know well, we all want to talk about it, but I felt more passion from you about it. So let's talk about it.
Honestly, I don't have any passion about it, man. This is 1957. I mean,
Okay.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't really hold this as a standard. I mean, that's what the time was back then. I'm not be honest with you. I'm not like holding him accountable for this. You know what I'm saying? Because one, a man could always grow and show something different. I mean, time and time out again, I can't really sit here and say I'm gonna hold a man accountable and just like, oh, I'm so upset because he's trying to stop black kids from entering school. I mean, at the particular time, that's what he was taught. And I mean, he's a young man at that particular time. So, hey, people get changed and evolve over time. I'm not gonna hold him accountable for it.
Okay. So I'll say this. Adrian, do you want to go?
I'll let you go ahead. Go.
Okay. I'll say this. I agree with you on that aspect because we do all change and we all do grow. My problem with it is him just not acknowledging it. You know, I mean, it's nothing. The whole thing is we can go back to the whole Kyrie situation, right? Like when things with us, and I'm talking about us with African American people get out of hand, or people. Let me not say out of hand, but when people deem it's a problem, then we have to jump through a certain amount of hoops to just even get back in people's good graces. You know, it doesn't matter. I don't care who you are. I know Jerry Jones is this multi-billion-dollar owner of the Cowboys and America's team, and but I think I'm not asking him to the same demands as Kyrie or anything. I'm just saying acknowledgement. That's it. You know, because he hasn't even talked about it still to this day. So it's just kind of like people are talking for him. Now, it's good. It's like I've seen even ex-player like Michael Irvin was talking about him. Keyshawn talked about a lot of ex-players, and that's great. Like Pac-Man, he said he taught him business and he didn't have to do that, which is great. That's a great thing. But in this age, more than ever, you just can't hide behind it. I just think, I think we've been waiting. Let me not say this. They've been waiting for this to blow over. This is just like the Brett Favre situation, all over again to me. We talk about it's been because this is like a week and a half old, and now it's resurfacing because LeBron brought it back up. He brought it back up because he was saying that I'm perplexed of why nobody's asked me about this, but when Kyrie was in trouble, everybody was NBA because it's relatable, but nobody asked about this photo. So it was almost like it was just like, okay, we're just gonna let it slowly die down because the news media is so quick these days. I mean, you get like 100 stories a day now, and he let his players address it as opposed to him coming out. But hey, look, this was a time in my life where that I didn't, yes, I own this. And this is a time in my life that maybe I was a part of something like this, but moving forward, this is not obviously how I think now. Not even acknowledging, that's what kind of stings me a little bit. I agree with we all change. We have the right to have second chances and hell, even third chance because we all mess up in life. I agree with that, but the acknowledgement, is the problem for me.
Yeah, I agree to an extent. I'm be. We all knew segregation happened back then. You know what I mean? And the Jim Crow era and everything else that went on back then. But at the same time, it's like why we keep, when we relive the past, we keep
Good point.
bringing up wounds. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And Jerry Jones is not the only guy that experienced this kind of stuff back in that era.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that's relatable because he's an owner now and has billions of dollars. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And in perspective, I'm just saying it because if we're gonna beat him up, then we gotta beat up the national people that was around at a particular time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just like we bringing up this photo. What meaning does it gonna occur? I mean, yeah, they gonna. I mean, I didn't expect for him to even say something or even acknowledge it to be a fact. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I kind of really just didn't think acknowledgement even has to, be acknowledged, to be honest, just a little bit, because I feel like, man, we in 2022 and we keep, bringing up stuff like this. I feel like as a whole, as a generation, we should be able to like move past it, and you know what I'm saying, because I feel like it's always going to be a barrier and it's always going to continue to be brought up, and we're going to always pick whites against blacks. You know what I'm saying? It gets redundant and old after a while to me.
Well, my rebuttal to that is just because I understand that, but the other part of it too is when you are an owner of majority of the league is African American. Yeah, that's the highlight. That to me is, I get it. I do understand that point, but you're the owner. Basically, you are at the top of the food chain. I mean, he is the owner. His team, he's the owner, the GM, the coach, because he does it all. I mean, we know who Jerry Jones, what he is with the Dallas Cowboys. But that's my only thing. It's just a bad look, man. I think as somebody in a leadership position, you should come out and not let your players let them defend. That's a good thing that they defend you, but you need to come to the and talk. Because this is my thing with Jerry Jones too. When is he not talking? He's always promoting.
That's true.
He always talks. So this is the first 2 weeks we ain't heard from him. So it's kind of like you ducking it. And honestly, it's an admission of guilt to me for you running away from it. Even if, let's just say you was, because he looks like he was 17, 16. We all trying to run with the crowds and we're trying to fit in and we're trying to figure out who we are. And then, like, I was listening to one podcast where they was talking about it was different back then, right? Where, parents they taught their kids a certain way back then. And
still to this day.
Yeah, to this day, for sure. So they might not have that free will until they got on their own and learn, like, okay, well, this is not what life is about. And that could be true for Jerry Jones. I don't know. But the fact that what happened is, if we're gonna, I just want the same energy. If we're gonna hold people to a certain standard, it should be the exact same thing. Like, I forgot, what is that? The Jewish community? What is it? The AAD, or what is it? What was it that made Kyrie that listened to demands?
I thought that was hilarious. A man played basketball. You know what I'm saying? Why he had to go through a list of commands?
Yeah. So where's our representative? Where is the NCAAP? Do we have representatives that can put stuff like that in place?
And at the end of the day, with the Kyrie situation, I just feel like he's entitled to free speech. I mean, this is a free country to make, your own opinions. If that's his opinion, that's his opinion.
Yeah.
He shouldn't beat a man up for his opinion. I didn't know that by him having a voice of his opinion is going to be so strong and adverse in this era, but I guess it is,
Well, check it out. And I don't want to talk too long because Adrian get his opinion in, but this last piece that I'm gonna say is that all that Kyrie got suspended. He had to get all that scrutiny. And what did Amazon do? It was an article that came out today. Jeff Bezos said, we're not going to take the book down because this is a marketplace to where we always promoted what? Free speech. So they're still not taking the book down. So, or the whatever it was. So
it was a documentary, yeah.
A documentary. Okay, yeah. So documentary. So it's so he's the only one. If anything, so before the book was what it was like $4.99 or $9.99. When he realized when they realized it was getting traction, they raised it to $49. It was making $50 per purchase off it now. So we're somebody that wrote the book, they're making money.
I mean, it's smart off that person's
business.
Yeah,
It's business.
Yeah.
But so they're making money. Amazon's making money, but the Kyrie was the only one to get the scrutiny for it. So, and I think he donated and probably lost money because he was suspended. So I'm just saying it's
yeah, he lost money because he lost endorsements. He lost everything.
He lost everything. So we're always. I'm sick and tired of us always, because we're always the most compassionate. We're always the ones that are accepting, to matter if it's within our culture or not. But I it's just, man, sometimes you see the writing on the walls. It's annoying. So, but yeah, man, what you think, Adrian?
Yeah.
No, I mean, so for the Jerry Jones situation, I mean, he was there at the crowd, so the crowd was only there for one reason. I mean, they can sit there and say that he was there as a spectator. I mean, I don't know what you coming there to look at. I mean, they didn't want segregation. They didn't want blacks mixing with whites. That's what it came down to. And you had a mob that didn't want anything to do with African Americans going to the school. And I mean, that was happening all across the country. Same thing with the young kids going to school. They had to get escorted by police just to get them in school. And they were getting slandered, stuff thrown at them, called all kind of names. And they're just trying to get an education. So yeah, there's a photo. So just to go piggyback, Jerry Jones, yes, he was in the photo. And like I said, he said, or somebody spoke for him, said he was there for, he was intrigued. He just wanted to see what was going on. And that may be the case. And I mean, as of what we know, Jerry Jones is not a racist boy. All we see is not a racist. He's just a very stubborn owner who just thinks he knows everything about football. But the photo speaks a lot of volume. You don't have to say much. We already know what this photo is. We know what was going on in this time. And we know what was going on before time. So enough with this, with the photo, we know what this photo is saying. I mean, can we point fingers and say Jerry Jones was there to also be a part of that mob? Like, I mean, ain't no telling if this would have turned into a situation where the mob would have pushed the police out of the way and started attacking the African Americans. Who would have known would have turned out to be? We don't know. But I agree with you, Bobby, on a lot of things where as soon as Kyrie Irving make a post, didn't even say anything. He just made a post about something that has nothing to do with nobody else but the African American community. He was scrutinized because it was considered anti-Semitic, as if it was hurting folks, somebody's feelings. This what Kyrie posted, and I think everybody took it out of misconception, and I really feel like the media did it on purpose and ran with it to stir up more stuff, because it took a lot of light off the Brett Favre situation. Took a whole lot of light off of it.
Yeah,
and they stirred it up very well, because all he did was post something that, like I said, it wasn't meant for anybody else. It was meant for the African American community. And the way a lot of the African American community handled it, like Shaq and a lot of them, bash Kyrie for a post.
Yeah, I don't agree with that. I think that Shaq shouldn't have spoke out on that and continue to bash him. And he's not entitled to his opinion,
But it's not an opinion. I think that's the part that bothers me the most is folks is calling it opinion. It's not an opinion. The book was titled Hebrew to Negro.
That's true.
Negro. And it was titled that for the African American community. It has nothing to do with, today's Hebrews or Jews. None of it has nothing to do with it. It has everything to do with our culture, our history. That's what it has everything to do with. And that's what pisses me off, because Kyrie didn't get the support he needed. He didn't get no support from nobody. Nobody. I don't care if anybody said he got support. He didn't get support. The only support he got was Hebrew Israelites that went marching to the stadium. That was the only support he really got. That was it. And this man had to go through a whole thing of hours, this, times this. He had to do all this community service work, take classes for this. Like he didn't say nothing. He didn't come out and say stuff like, "Look, what Kanye West was saying. All he did was make a post about a documentary for African Americans to view. And this is why I say we fail as a community when we come to supporting each other. We do. But I mean, I don't want to harp on it too much because all it's going to do is piss me off, so we can move forward. But for the Jerry Jones situation, I don't know. I mean, he was there speculating. He was there observing, seeing what was going on. I mean, he was a young kid. I can't knock somebody young. I'm not going to really scrutinize a child. He was a child at that time, so he doesn't know nothing. He's learning what's right from wrong. He's really starting to understand it, and he's growing up into a man who knows the truth from right from wrong. Regardless of which path he takes, it's entirely up to him. But as a young kid, 14, 15 years old, you don't know nothing. You don't even know how to pay bills. So for him to go there, he was just going there. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised he was there with somebody that brought him there. I doubt he just went there all by himself. He probably was there with somebody who was older than him that brought him with him. So, I always say, racism is taught, it's learned. That's taught throughout the roots. That's embedded in them. So when they bring them up, they upbring them to dislike the opposite race or whatever race they want to dislike, depending on where you are on this planet. So Jerry Jones situation, I agree with Bobby. And there's no light being shed on it. And then when it started, dwindling away, LeBron James brought it back up, and nobody's still not trying to touch it. But Kyrie Irving situation, he ran with it. Had no reason to run with it. He did nothing absolutely wrong. Nothing. And nobody supported Kyrie. Not one person. Especially from our people. Nobody. So that's my take on
it. Yeah. And it's just unfortunate because another you know how many layups sometimes we get as people to come together and really because we are, as I don't give a shit what anybody says, we are the trendsetters, we are the culture, we influence, we've been influencing stuff way even back long time. So it's always that follow mentality as opposed to that lead, and just unfortunate.